Maggie and I seem to have a very similar sense of humor, and some weird quotes or things that stick out to us just seem to apply to we just seem to apply them to things. I don't know why. For example, Maggie likes to, when she's showing, sometimes when she's being conscious of looking up, she likes to look up.
I'm thinking Quentin is like, keep your eyes up over a jump, and literally in there I'm like, Quentin said eyes up.
And you see in her picture, she's like this, looking up.
And it just happens that I do this expression on my face where if you're a kid and you tell them to cheese and they're like, that's what I do.
Like we call it when she's cheesin'.
Like, okay, I'm gonna cheese that oxer.
Another thing we do is, I don't know how it worked out this. Sometimes we're talking about keeping one of our body like tall off the ground. We talk about doing the rubber band man. I don't know how that happened either. It just happened.
Apparently, whenever we go to a skinny vertical, we rubber band man it, or just rubber band. So
we'll be walking courses sometimes and not joking at that moment. And he's like, yeah, the combination of double vertical, say really cheese over B, and then rubber band man at C. And it's not a joke to us anymore because it's gone for so long, but that just happens. And I think people hear us talking, think like, what are these people talking about? The Gregg, we get this question a lot.
Okay.
So, long story short, Elizabeth Benson, who's a girl from New Jersey who worked for us a couple of years ago in the summer, who's now a really good friend of ours. She was very similar to us, and she came, and it just worked right away. We all clicked well. So somehow she started showing us this video, old Gregg.
I showed you the video.
Maggie showed us the video. Is that not helpful that she did that right that moment? Thank you. Old Gregg. Which, it's this really bizarre, it's funny, I don't know where it comes, it's really weird, but it's really funny. And it's this like weird character, old Gregg. So he says all these bizarre things, and that's how this kind of started. We started saying this weird stuff this guy says. And then somehow, I think it started calling Maggie Gregg one day as a joke, and then it kind of stuck. And then when Elizabeth Benson came, everyone called her Ebes or EB, which I didn't really like that. I don't know why. I really enjoy giving people nicknames. So I kind of started calling her Gregg also. And then I also got the name Gregg. So now there's about at least 3 of us that we all jointly refer to as Gregg. So it just happened. And I don't think I've called Maggie in a year. I've only referred to her as Gregg, even in the warm-up ring, where that's people always probably think we're crazy because I'm screaming to her like, Gregg, cheese once. And that happens, and I'm not making a joke out of it, and it's just so commonplace to me now, that's how we talk.
I can imagine if someone was listening and I'm like, hey Gregg, rubber band and cheese. That sounds bizarre, but we know exactly what we're talking about. And normally it works, so there's that.
But Gregg happens a lot. Like Gregg's on a plane, Gregg's on Gregg's. It just happened. I don't know, but everybody's Gregg around here. That's a little known fact from McLean Ward. He wishes he was a Gregg. McLean's like groupies probably send me hate mail.